know what capital is? In this case, capital, we want it to mean anything that has value. Money is capital.
Gold, sand, diamond, platinum.
Property, like your house has value.
Your car.
Some people own land in different places, so that has a lot of value, right?
So what is culture? Food is one example. Different cultures have different foods. And then you said dance, so there's different dance cultures. Hey!
Traditions?
Yes. So what are some examples of traditions?
Some youth parades, people dancing, and costumes and clothes wearing.
Art. Graffiti. Yes, graffiti is a part of culture as well. How they look. Language is also a part of culture.
I was thinking of language, but I was
So the official definition is traditions, arts, social institutions, and food of a particular group of people.
So guys, what is change? Josiah.
A different act. What you do or different.
Yep, so changing your behavior from doing one thing to something else.
For some people, changing means to nice. It actually makes them feel good about themselves, or like, if it's a negative change, it can kind of make people feel like sad. If like people are getting like bullied, for example, like if they're getting bullied, and then they see other people doing that, they can probably change like to a better and they make it worse for themselves.
So what about some changes that don't involve like a person? What about changes in neighborhoods? Have you guys seen that?
For example, around this neighborhood, it's a lot of graffiti. I don't know how to say it. Graffiti? Yeah, graffiti. So, for example, the people can change and like erase all the mean graffiti. So they can like, because in Miami there's a lot of that, and for it to change, we'll have a better and nicer in Miami. And neighborhood change could be recycling, picking up garbage, because there are a lot of garbage trucks and people do that so they can help the environment. And then see outside there are a lot of plastic Easter cups. So if we pick that up, and we would have a nicer environment and it would be safer for the animals.
like recycling.
What about Destiny?
Like in my neighborhood, well, not in my neighborhood, but like in certain neighborhoods, people they cut down trees, and that's animal habitats. So if maybe if they would stop cutting down trees, they could cut down branches and not the whole tree.
Okay, so we talked about a bunch of different types of change. So we talked about so far, thank you, Destiny. We talked about change, we talked about culture, and we talked about capital. So all of those three things are very different, but they have one thing in common. They're all related to one larger topic. So who knows what gentrification is?
Gentrification, I don't know what it means, but I'm going to give it a try. I think it means
You think it means
change.
change? So change is part of gentrification, so that's correct.
Gentrification is probably has to do something with wealth.
It has to do something with wealth and wealth and poor. Okay, so that's exactly right. So gentrification involves wealthy people and people who have less money, and it also involves change.
Gentrification has something to do with people not having houses. Or
Okay.
not owning stuff.
Okay, not owning things anymore.
Something to do with the rich buying houses.
Okay, so something to do with the rich people buying houses. So we talked about how gentrification includes capital. So we mentioned wealthy versus poor, rich people buying houses. We talked about how that involves change, right? So change in a neighborhood. So how do you guys think culture is a part of gentrification?
When I interview Miss Nico, like when she was a child, her neighborhood started to change from what it was because they started putting new buildings and new stores by it, and she had to go to different places because for food that will fit her culture.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Destiny. Thank you guys for sharing. So all of those things, those three things, change, culture, and capital, are involved in gentrification. So who can give me a short definition of gentrification?
When wealthy people, like they come into neighborhoods and try to give people who live in houses that they want to like demolish, they try to give them a fair amount of money, and then they make new buildings.
Okay, thank you.
So, Kylie, what do you want to say? I don't know. What do you want to say? I don't know. I'm just bored. I'm gonna go check the door.
Hello, ma'am. What's your name?
My name is Destiny.
Anisha. Nice to meet you.
I'm Emma, nice to meet you.
We are the Grove developers, and we were wondering if you would be willing to accept $5,000 for your apartment.
We're hoping to build a new complex here, which will include much more modern facilities, things like a pool and a gym, things like that.
No.
Thank you.
For something. Little bit about money. For this house, I will pay like $1,000 I'm gonna check. Hello.
Hello, Destiny. We're back again. How are you?
Nice to see you again.
So just I'm wondering if you would be willing to accept $10,000, because we are trying to build the community as a whole, not just, your apartment, but the apartments next to you. And then we're willing to accept you guys back into these apartments at the same rate. Okay, I'm sorry.
3 weeks later.
So, back in the born ass. My mom is out of town, so we don't have nothing to do. Hello?
Hi Destiny, nice to see you again.
Hi.
You're back with another offer of $25,000 for your apartment.
Can I just
Sure.
They offered us about $25,000. That should be enough. Yes? Yes. Okay. Yes, it is. You accept it.
Oh my God, thank you so much, Destiny. Would you guys be willing to be out in a week?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Thank you so much.
We have to start taking back some time. Back over time. Hello? Did they give you money to the podcast? Unfortunately. Oh. So, what about you? It's the same thing. You gotta be out by next week. But that's why we thought that if we combine our money, we could have enough. So if we add 25 plus 25, we can plus 50. Yes, $50,000. And then we can each have for you to get that fish. And if I would know sushi, I don't like sushi. I know you like sushi. Can I eat it outside the house? No. Not even in there. I'm gonna have a pool. Good. Well, maybe we can save that much money but we should start packing. Okay. So, when should we start packing? Thursday, Wednesday, Friday? Okay. Goodbye. I thought you were So what does gentrification mean to you?
housing up, fix it up. It looks better and prettier, but then it's so high that nobody can afford it. So the poor are kicked out of the neighborhood, and the rich is taking over.
They're tearing down a lot of houses and they're building these two-story condos. And building these two-story condos, they're not making them affordable for people to live in, for a lot of our black people to live in. They're costing thousands of dollars. Nobody makes that income to pay over $1,000 for rent. So now people, for instance, people in Coconut Grove, they're being pushed out of the neighborhood to move further south or further north to find places to live that they can afford. Like the places that we live in, Kingsway Apartments, a lot of people are staying there because it is an affordable rent. So a lot of people are afraid to even move, even though you deal with the problems of getting things fixed in these places. It's a hard time getting things fixed in these places. But you stay there because that's where you can afford it. My grandsons used to play football. And when they remodeled that park, they didn't allow the kids to play football down there. They brought in kids to play soccer. So the kids were actually pushed from that park to go to other parks to play football other places. Another thing is not allowing people to be in certain neighborhoods, even though you're in Coconut Grove. You have police that are following you when you're on the back streets where a lot of white people live and everything. You have them following you. And it's only because you're a black person. They think all black people do crime. All black people don't do crime. You might just want to take a walk, a nice long walk, but they're looking to make you look suspicious like you're doing something wrong. So you deal with a lot with this gentrification.
I grew up here, right down the street, and we knew everybody on the street. And it was, it's good. Now, I don't know nobody, maybe one, two persons on the street. And I said, where everybody gone? And then I noticed, like she's saying, I see a lot of whites, and I'm like, they don't usually be coming in our neighborhood, but I noticed because they come here because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
It's higher down there, our days and stuff, but it's...
Education and jobs play a role too. Because if you're not given has the education to get the jobs to get the money to afford to improve yourself as far as your housing or your economic status, that's another reason they're able to come in and push us out.
So what does gentrification mean?
I see it as a group of individuals with a lot of economic influence and power taking advantage of other groups that don't have as much and using their money to buy places that are cheap and easy to purchase, and then turning them into a place that they can either sell for a better profit or rent out. Like across the street here, we have a place that was bought probably at a pretty low price, and it's going to be turned into something that they can charge pretty high rent for and stuff like that.
What did you do?
I do believe it's manipulation. People doing the gentrification, they know the value of the property and the value of the opportunity that they're taking away from the locals. I don't agree with it. I'm against it.
Now, what was your
Yeah, I feel like it's like modern day colonization. Like it's like people coming in and saying like you have to leave from your house. And I think there should be some types of laws that kind of protects the people. Protects the people from where they've been living for decades or hundreds of years. So I think that the government should kind of take a step to stop gentrification.
Or if they're offered amounts that they're really worth, or the opportunity.
Do you think if they make like better houses, they should be for the same prices or just a little bit higher?
Maybe a little bit higher because you are getting like a better house.
But something that they can
still afford. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like they're losing money either, so they are taking advantage. So the amount that they charge people to live in places is like grossly over exaggerated.
Jello, what does gentrification mean? And I was wealthy and you was poor. I think, like, for example, if I go to your house and ask, can I buy your property? And you say no, and I give you like higher money each week for your property, and you finally say yes, I think that's what gentrification is.
Yes?
I actually think that they should stop it because, like Kylie said, some of our friends are getting kicked out of their houses by rich people that want to buy their properties, and like some of us really miss our friends.
I think gentrification should completely stop and never happen again. Because seeing people get kicked out of their houses just for, it's like being bribed. If I give you $10,000 to be kicked out your house, I would want the money, but I wouldn't want to be homeless. People want to, bribe you for $18,000 or $5,000 and say, oh, this is the highest price we get. This is not low or whatever. People think, oh yeah, I should take the deal so I can have money. But then once you want to buy your house again, it costs for you like $20 million. And you're thinking, why? But this is my house, I shouldn't have to pay this much. And I got $5,000, you put it up for $20 million. Even if you did buy the house, it wouldn't make sense to spend all your savings or your money that you have just for a house that's smaller than the one that you had before.
Bloopers. This is bloopers.
Oh, stop it!
Bloopers.
Kai. Do you want another chair? Kai, where's your badge?
I got 13. In my pocket.
So y'all gonna fake bloopers?
Yes.
Well, of course, want to start now.
Hi, bloopers. What is it?
All right.
Hey, you should do this down.
A blooper is behind the scenes.
And it's just like,
No, I'm gonna trip over the chair with a long enough.
SpongeBob SquarePants. Wait, can I see through? Can I see through right?
Some kind of
Okay, pause on the blooper.
I did that.
Oh, you're the best friend. Do you not know me? Can you cut now, please?
No. I don't want to say.
Don't cut the scene.
See what it says first. Okay, go.
We put up,
3 weeks later. Oh
that's
no.
not like that, Kai.
That's why we put it like that.
Film it. How do you film it? I'll story.
I see myself, but I look ridiculous. All right, guys.
I ship.